Is dwelling on what just happened going to help you, yes or no? Because if it's going to help you, well, then it's going to be from a learning experience from that. It's going to be actually taking from that what you can then use in the future. Because if you're living in the past where things went wrong, that's going to lead to a deeper state of depression and a very dark space. So what we can say is, let's learn everything we can from this obstacle, challenge, setback that we had. Now, the future is going to be even brighter because we're going to be able to learn from that and actually take action today. Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our Mindset and Motivation Monday, one of my favorite ways to start the week. Hopefully your week's off to a great start as well. I want to share with you a concept that is taught by one of the NFL's leading gurus on sports performance and psychology. His job is to get the highest performing athletes to be able to overcome setbacks and not let it stall their game. Say they throw an interception as a quarterback or they drop a ball as a receiver. Are they worried during the next play that the same thing is going to happen? These are high stakes games with only one game per week played, a lot of money on the line, and their career as well. The average NFL career is only about 3 to 5 years as it is, and every single year you're worried for your job. So these are 10 circumstances, and he teaches something very different. Now, I am someone that does believe in positive thinking. I absolutely do, but I don't like it to be, a little woo-woo and out there where you're just saying, hey, everything is good, there's no issues, because you know at a subconscious level that that's not true. So it's very difficult to trick your brain. Now, however, I've given you many, many plans that I've used myself that do work. I see them work in clinical practice. I know that they work from the research. We teach it in IHP Mastery, but there's no harm in looking at other ways that may be better cues for certain people. So what I try to do as an integrative health practitioner, a doctor of naturopathy hopefully does this. They look at what is best for my wellness clients, or if you're a practitioner out there, your patients, that would get them from point A to point B the healthiest, safest, and happiest way possible. So I want to teach you a new technique. And I think it's very interesting. I've taught it before from the position of suspending disbelief, right? So I always say to people, you don't have to believe, just not believe, right? Like that's the goal. The goal is to say, you may not believe that it's going to happen, but don't believe in the opposite. And you can start to then at least work in that pattern. And that's a little bit about what Trevor Moawad, who is the NFL guru. He's NFL guru actually to Navy SEALs, CEOs, and the NFL. And I hadn't heard of him before, but when I read this article, I'm like, you know what? This is helpful. Like, this is helpful. And it was written up, I believe, in Sports Illustrated. I'll see if I can link that up for you here today on the show notes. But he has a phrase, and he says, go neutral. And that's the big takeaway from today's show, is that when you have a setback, you cannot slide back into this negative thinking that puts you in that really dark place, that bad mental state where things start to snowball then and get worse and worse and worse. So let's say you are the NFL quarterback, you throw the interception, now everything's on your mind, you blew it, you ruined the game, the team is too good. They know the plays that you're going to be calling. And the next play, you're in a negative position. You're worried. Your reaction time is going to be slower. Your stress levels are higher. You may make the mistake again. That's why sometimes a quarterback will throw 4 interceptions in one game. They start to slide backwards. They're worried. Now, there are other factors, I know. But the only thing that you can really control in life is your own mindset. That's the thing. And it's not easy. So what Trevor is saying is this. He's saying that when something negative happens, a challenge, an obstacle, a setback, go neutral. And what that to me means is that, okay, you don't need to just tell yourself, hey, it's all good, no worries. You can. If you're that type of person, it may work great for you. I'm not going to say go neutral. Stay positive if you can. But some people can't. They go right away to the negative. All right. So instead of going to the negative, just say, yes, it did happen. I'm not going to say it didn't, and I'm not going to pretend that that didn't happen. Maybe it's the loss of a job. It might be missing your workout for 2 weeks, falling off your diet. It could be a lot of different things, right? A lot of different things. But what we can do is this. We can say, realistically, yeah, I fell off my diet, got away from my workouts, lost job, like whatever it might be. Again, some really hard things, break up a relationship, whatever that challenge is in your own life. And the goal would be to say this: what can I learn from this? And you've heard that before, I'm sure, but do it not from that woo-woo standpoint. Do it more from, how can I learn from this? Meaning, what can I take from this that I can then use so that I don't make that same mistake in the future? Because again, it did happen. I'm not going to say it didn't, but how can I learn from it so that it doesn't happen? So if it's the quarterback that does throw the interception, what went wrong on that play? Did you miss a read? Were your players out of position? Do you need to coach them up on that? Were you throwing off the wrong foot? There could be a number of different things. And so once you find out what went wrong, then you can say, okay, yeah, you know what? You have to admit it. Being self-aware is really important. I talk about that all the time, being self-aware. And then you own it. It's your responsibility. You own it, because once you do that, you can say, I am now going to practice not doing that again. And what it does is it then allows you to get back in your game. The practice in our life is action, daily action. Okay, so you got away from your nutrition plan. You got away from your diet, your workout, your exercise. You're going to bed early, maybe starting to drink a little bit more alcohol than you should. First thing you're doing is saying, yeah, it happened. I admit it. I take responsibility. Now what? What do I do now? So you don't even need to go into the positive mindset. You don't even need to go there. You don't even need to go to visualization. All that's great. But what you need to do is be realistic about it. Okay, I've been drinking 4 nights a week. I shouldn't do that. I know that it shouldn't. It affects my health. It affects all these different things. And again, so you might be saying that to yourself. So what do you do? Well, the first thing you may need to do is get rid of any alcohol in your house. Or if the trigger for you is going out to dinner with friends and colleagues, you might need to take a week off. You might need to hit that reset button. But what it's allowing you to do is take realistic action towards your goals. There's a couple other tips that Trevor gives. And he says this: don't get overwhelmed by your feelings. That, of course, is not an easy thing to do either. But what we have to do is sometimes get out of our feelings and get back into the real world. Okay, is dwelling on what just happened going to help you, yes or no? Because if it's going to help you, well, then it's going to be from a learning experience from that. It's going to be actually taking from that what you can then use in the future. Because if you're living in the past where things went wrong, that's going to lead to a deeper state of depression and a very dark space. So what we can say is, let's learn everything we can from this obstacle, challenge, setback that we had. Now, the future is going to be even brighter because we're going to be able to learn from that and actually take action today. So we kind of sometimes step back from the feelings, more of a neutral position, as if it didn't happen to you, what if it happened to someone else? And then move forward. So using what you have, this is a great example. So he's worked with the NFL quarterback, Russell Wilson. And I've known Russell Wilson's career since he started in the NFL. I'm an NFL fan. And Russell Wilson's 5'11", and I don't know if that's generous or not, but he's not the average height of a quarterback. Average height of a quarterback is about 6'4". So let's say he's about a half a foot shorter than the average quarterback. It's a huge disadvantage, meaning that he doesn't have the same vision of the field, the same length of that throwing arm over the defensive tackles, et cetera. So what does that mean? Well, Russell Wilson just had to say, he's like, yeah, I'm not the prototypical quarterback in the NFL. But what do I have that's different? Fast reads, strong arm, quick feet, and he used that to his advantage. So instead of saying, oh, my setback is something I can do nothing about, he literally cannot control how tall he is, right? So since he can't control that, he has to say, okay, what can I control? And he can control his acumen of the game planning, study, strategy, foot speed, arm strength, reads, play calling, etc. And he's done that. He's had a remarkable career. So there's one more point that I think is really important as well that Trevor gives, and it is watching your language or your self-talk. I truly believe that people's self-talk is what's defeating them before they even get started. If you are so hard on yourself, always putting yourself down, who there then is to build you up? How can you be your own worst enemy and still believe or hope to believe that you can achieve the goals that you want for yourself, right? To living the life of passion and vitality and energy that you want. And it's so difficult to have those things if you're always down on yourself. So remember, the goal isn't necessarily always to visualize all this positivity, although that would be fantastic. The first step is also, and sometimes better, if you simply go neutral and to say, this is what is right now, and here's what I can learn. And based on that, these are the next steps I'm going to take. If you do that, it's going to eventually lead to the place where you can start to visualize the amazing, wonderful opportunities that you have in front of you. Take care, everybody. Hopefully this has been a helpful Motivation and Mindset Monday. Do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Have an amazing week. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.